Earlier today, former Seattle Seahawks linebacker KJ Wright was on the 92.3 The Fan's Baskin and Phelps show talking about a move that he thought the Browns probably should make this offseason.
The Browns, you just look at this team. What are they going to do going forward? You traded the house for Deshaun Watson. You gave up everything for him. And let's see, how are they going to maximize bringing him in? And call me crazy, guys, but I'm not a fan of pairing a Nick Chubb with the Deshaun Watson. I don't believe that Deshaun has any business under center handing the ball off to him 25 to 30-plus times a game. Deshaun Watson is the guy that needs to be in shotgun, airing the ball out downfield to speedy receivers. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how are they going to approach this offense to maximize that big-time move they made. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how all things play out.
KJ Wright joining us. KJ, that's an interesting thought. So what do? If you're Kevin Stefanski, you're calling plays, Alex Van Pelt, you're designing plays. You have a big-time running back who I think is a Hall of Fame running back and still in his prime, yet you have a quarterback who you think should be playing a different style of football. What do you do there?
Man. Listen, it doesn't start with the fans. It starts with the general manager. And I love Nick Chubb, have the utmost respect for him, one of the best guys that I ever competed against. But you have got to find a way to get some draft picks that you lost in this Deshaun Watson trade. And so if you have got to revamp this offense. Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson do not belong on the same football field together. So you may have to make another blockbuster trade to maximize Deshaun Watson and get some receivers in there, boost up the offensive line some more. So it's going to be a trade that hurts the franchise. They're going to be so confused. And why did y'all trade away our best football player? But we've seen that it's been done before. We saw when the Cowboys did it back in the day. They ended up being a Super Bowl team. And so that's the move that you have to make if you want to make sure that you have a successful football season next year.
Let's welcome in Tom Withers from the Associated Press. So, Tom, KJ Wright saying because of the style that is suited to Deshaun Watson, he would trade Nick Chubb. I see what he's saying. I don't think I agree with it.
Dave, he's crazy. But, they didn't make this blockbuster trade last year to finally get the quarterback, to bring him in and then trade arguably your best offensive player immediately. That doesn't make any sense to me. Look, I think especially for people on the outside, I don't think they fully appreciate, what the Browns had to go through last year as a team and as a fan base to wait out the Deshaun Watson situation. And they only had him on the field for 6 games. So while people don't like to hear it, it is still a work in progress. And so I think, what this offseason is really devoted to is, first of all, the Browns figuring out what they do have, what their upside is at certain positions. If we want to talk about the offensive side, it's clearly what can they do to upgrade the wide receiver situation. They were fortunate enough to get a guy like Amari Cooper in here last year, who turned out to be one of the absolute steals of all time in terms of getting a player of that caliber for, what was it, a 5th-round draft pick?
Yeah.
So I think really this offseason, Dave, comes down to, okay, what do they got? Let's figure out how maybe to, modify the running game a little bit to not only use Nick Chubb, who is clearly one of the 2 or 3 or 4, however you want to rank him, best running backs in the NFL, but then how do you then utilize Deshaun Watson's skill set as a runner to complement that? What more can you get out of guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones and David Bell? And what more can you get out of the tight end position? So, again, I think it's more about figuring out what they've got, how to best maximize having Deshaun Watson here and hanging on to number 24. I don't think they're trading him anytime soon. Maybe I'm completely nuts, but bigger and crazier things have happened, but I guarantee you, if you question that coaching staff right now on who their favorite player is on that team, I promise you that number 24 is at the very top of many of their lists.